Welcome back to 30 days of going inside because you can't go outside. So Rachel, are you there?
I am.
Perfect. So welcome everybody to day 2. And day 2 is called Connect. So we asked you at the end of day 1 to think about when you flipped your lids. And I'm just going to share with you all that I'm a little bit out of breath because I just flipped my lid. I couldn't find the charger. We're trying to do this together. We had it all set up and then the computer died. And I went running around the house shouting at everybody, trying to find the charger, which was underneath the seat that I'm sitting in right now. So I hope you were able to notice times when perhaps you flipped your lids and just noticing how you responded in those moments. And what we're going to share with you today is hopefully some helpful ways and of getting our lids back on. Anything you want to add, Rachel, before I go on to our top tip for getting your lid back on?
No, that's great. I would say the top tip is to do with the breath, so over to you, Lee.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do, and which I didn't just do, is stop and breathe. The breath is our number one go-to tool for calming the system. And so it's about stopping once you've kind of become aware that maybe you flipped your lid, and find your breath and follow it. Follow it into the body and follow it out. So stop and breathe.
There's a lot of merit too, I think, to sort of extending the out breath a little bit as well, isn't it? That kind of activates the parasympathetic membrane around our brain that helps us access a rest and digest setting. So that's useful to do as well.
Breathe out.
Okay, so tapping into our breath is number 1, and number 2 is to try and promote our brains to secrete a little bit more oxytocin, and we can do that if we're with somebody who's flipped their lid just by actually looking into their eyes in a curious way, not in an intrusive way or trying to stare them out, but just to maintain eye contact, because we know that that actually is when our brain can secrete a little bit more oxytocin, which is that kind of lovely love drug. And we can also stimulate that through the power of touch too. When we're feeling stressed, we naturally sort of like rub our own skin and kind of hold our shoulders, etc., in an effort to try and tap into the strength of the power of touch for ourselves, and that works with other people too. And especially if you've got little people in your house or younger people, is actually to make sure that when you go down and maybe put your hand on their arm, if they're comfortable with that, and to maintain eye contact, that you go down to their level to do it as well, because that actually increases that empathic connection that we can have with somebody else. And kind of the expression on our face, it sounds really common sense, but making sure that we're calm, and if we can, to try and adjust our own posture in the hope that the person that we're with will adjust theirs too, because in the same way that posture follows emotions, emotions follow posture. So sometimes just by rolling our shoulders back, or doing that with the person that we're with who's emotionally exposed, kind of really helps the flow of oxygen between the mind and body, because we tend to withdraw and go in on ourselves when a big emotion shows up. So just making that adjustment means that we're actually able to tap into the oxygen in our blood to actually help us maintain and to self-regulate. So kind of having a calm, non-judgmental expression on your face, because we can be a little bit judgmental about people who lose the plot or flip their lid, and actually it's a normal and natural response for all of us. So bringing in a little bit of compassion, both to ourselves when we do it, but to our meaningful others as well.
Yeah, I think non-judgmental is really important, isn't it? Maintaining that stance. So as a helpful summary for getting our lids back on, if you're trying to get your own lid back on, it's about stopping, pausing, find the breath, exhale. If you can see someone around you who's flipped their lids and you want to help someone else, try to make soft eye contact on their level. If you can, reach out, touch them gently. Try not to judge the reaction that they're having. And if you can, validate the feeling that's showing up for them. Perhaps naming it if you feel you can. And overall, what we're trying to do is we're trying to connect in order to redirect, so we can put our attention into something else. If only I had brought that on board when I was looking for the charger 5 minutes ago.
Absolutely. Yeah, you might have found it a bit quicker. This stuff sounds really, really simple, but actually it's not easy. It's not easy to cultivate that curiosity. It's not easy to actually remember to do this stuff, because when we have flipped our lid and we're in our emotional brains, we're not in our wise brains. So again, this is about noticing. Okay, so now I'm just going to invite you all to notice over the next day or so. If you're able to bring some awareness to if you flipped your lid, or if someone around you has flipped theirs, and whether or not you can use any of the skills that we've shared with you today to try and help you to get your lid back on.
So that's the end of day 2, and we'll see you tomorrow with day 3, which is all about balance. And we're going to finish in a moment with a short breathing exercise, which is called 4-7-8 breathing, and this can really help to get your lid back on and to calm the system and help with balance, which we'll be looking at in our next video. So take care, stay safe, and see you for day 3. So 4-7-8 breathing. In this, we breathe out to start, and try to breathe out as though you're gently kind of blowing through a bubble one. So we're just, and then we breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, and exhale in the same way for a count of 8. And we're going to do 3 rounds of this before we finish. Okay? So just starting by breathing out all the way until you can't breathe out anymore, and then just breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, out, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7,